Because I said, you remember
On
last
next
name?
one, 7 o'clock, thank you.
Wes.
Let's do the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, welcome everybody, thanks for coming. Okay, let's do the approval of the minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes with one except, with the updated version of February 16th with the 2 corrections.
I second.
Any comments or discussion on that? On the board? Monica?
Yes, Robert?
Yes.
Steve?
Yes.
Colleen? Yes. Lynn?
Yes. Okay, approval of bills and warrants. Entertained a motion on that?
I make a motion to approve the bills and warrants as presented.
I'll second.
Any discussion on that before we vote?
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Mhm.
We have, a 7,000 odd bill from A&B Consulting, which is $2,000 more than it was last month.
We had her here doing a couple of
But
things, I think.
this is only up to before that. You know, like, she spent quite a bit of time with us last week and she came to that meeting, but this only goes up to the 11th, so that didn't include that.
No, but did it include her coming over when Barry came a couple weeks ago? Over
No,
the
because it
Zoom?
ends on the 11th.
What day was that on, that we were?
Well,
looking at?
maybe it does, maybe it does include
We've had her
that.
doing some extra things this
Okay.
last month, lots of computer work, lots of asking questions, a lot of digging into the budget for us. Yeah, so that, we would expect the next month or two, that one will be a little bit higher.
Okay. The other question I have is about the, there's a $2,688 bill from Kaliva. Is that in addition to the $5,000 that we're paying her for the superintendent search?
I think that pertains to the other things we've been looking at, the legal issues, the amendments, those things.
So that is in addition
Yes.
to what we're
I
paying?
would believe so.
Probably, but we can certainly confirm that with her Wednesday night.
All right.
Yeah, and just see if she piecemealed out the 5,000 or if this is on the other issues she's working on.
Yeah.
Any other more discussion, questions on the bills and warrants?
Steve?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Monica?
Yes.
Colleen? Yes. Lynn?
Yes. Okay, report from the superintendent.
Yes, good evening. On Thursday, March 26th, we'll be having our 3rd annual Forever Young Dance in the high school gym. It will be from 12 to 2 o'clock in the afternoon. All community members 55 and over are welcome to join us. This year it's a little bit different because we're going to have members from the Student Council, members from the National Honor Society, and members from Schools USA be the children involved, and so they get a chance to participate in a good connection with the community. So that will be on the 26th, and the hospital will be invited. The students have already put out posters in the stores, I'm told, so it will be on the website. It's going to be in the newspaper this week, so you'll be getting all that information. I had applied for mental health well-being grant and was informed last week that we were awarded one of 100 grants, grant funded, so we don't have to pay anything for this. The program gives each school or district the opportunity to strengthen school climate, mental health, and a sense of belonging. I have a Zoom meeting on Thursday afternoon to find out what the particulars are, but it's help, it's lessons, it's time for teachers, it's time for the staff, everyone in the whole school climate is involved, not just teachers, not just kids, everybody, and it's called Give Thanks. It's called Give Thanks, School Wellbeing Program. Now the not happy part of the report, I need to announce that Mr. Sanford has resigned as the girls' basketball coach. I want to thank him for the time that he has spent with the girls and the hard work he put into creating a team to be proud of. The mark he left on the team will be remembered for a long time. Next, Mrs. Cole has resigned as coordinator of the 21st Century After School Program. The long hours, tons of paperwork, and the general organization of the program takes much time, talent, and energy, and Mrs. Cole worked very hard to make the program the success that it is. Much thanks and appreciation for a job well done. Our leadership will be missed. In this one, Debbie Kowalski, or Miss K as she's called in school, has decided to retire after 30-plus years of service, dedicated service to Lane's public schools. In her job as a paraprofessional, she's been a jack of all trades and a master of all trades. She has done so many things, whether she's helping a colleague, she's working with our special needs students, she's reading the Title I students, covering for staff members, or the great thing is the whipped cream ice cream sundaes she runs every year for the 8th graders as they transition into high school. This is the kindness, this is the hard work, this is the dedication that she has shared in the school district for all of these years. While she goes on to enjoy some well-deserved time for herself, I hope she remembers how important she was to our district and that she will be sorely missed.
Hey, Mr. Meredith.
I put the elementary newsletter on the table there in front of you guys earlier. First page is the newsletter, second page is just the enrollment numbers. If you look, the March enrollment numbers are there. Not a big change from last month, so if you have questions about that individually, I'd be glad to answer them if you would like. As far as happenings in the elementary, we just completed the I Love to Read month for the month of February, and that was great, and we love the participation from parents and community members, and our staff always does a really nice job of making reading more fun than it already is for our students. So I want to thank everybody for making that such a good thing. And then Mrs. Hagerman always does a really nice job of planning our book fair, and we had the book fair 2 weekends ago now, right? Yeah, 2 weekends ago now. And it was open for 4 days straight, and I saw a lot of students in here even on Saturday. I was in on Saturday. So nice way to wrap up I Love to Read month. With I Love to Read month, kind of tying into that, the PTA also hosted a reading carnival on Friday night this last week on the 13th. Unfortunately, I was unable to attend. I was in transportation home, and the weather held me up, so I didn't make it. But from the folks that I talked to, it was a really well attended and really a neat event. So thank you to the PTA for helping put that on. A couple things coming up. One that started today is we have the Missoula Children's Theater here this week, and so they'll be rehearsing all week long, and then their performances will be on Friday. There's a performance at 3:30 and a performance at 3 and a performance at 5:30. I think I told you backwards there, Ed, when you came into the office there. 3 and 5:30. And they do such a nice job with our students. We had about 50 students in the elementary gym today, so there will probably be an awful lot of parts that are filled tonight after they pick their casts. With the Missoula Children's Theater, the Plains Women's Club has paid for that in the past, and also pays for the lodging of the directors that come in and direct that, and so we're very thankful for that. Probably could not do it without it. Also during this week, the PTA has pitched in and helps donate the meals and provide the meals every evening for our students. So a lot of support from a lot of different organizations, and we appreciate all of it. And upcoming, we have the Sealants for Smiles, which we've done for about the last probably 10 years. It's a program out of Bozeman, Montana. They partner with a local dentist office here at MT West, and they come in and they provide sealants and a dental health checkup for every student that signs up. We send the permission slips forms home and everything, but really thankful for that, and appreciate them coming in. They've been great, and kind of nice if they find something that they're concerned about, they'll give a nice little report that we can send home to the parents. If there's nothing overly concerning, then it's more just a checkup in the sealants, and that's it. And last but not least, we have Kindergarten Roundup coming up on April 2nd This is the day where we try to get a feel for how many kindergartners we will have next year. It has been hard the last few years because our numbers that show up for kindergarten roundup have just not been what we actually end up with. We do our best to put it in the paper, we put it on our school Facebook page, we blast out information on the portal. So I guess I'm struggling to find a way to really capture all of the families in the community to come in for that, so that it helps us plan, really. If we don't know how many kindergartners we have, it makes it hard for us to plan for next year. That will be April 2nd, they come in, we do a number of screenings, educational screenings, eye screenings, some developmental screenings and things like that, just to get a feel for where they're at and how many we're going to have. And so that'll be coming up here on April 2nd. And with that, I think that's about it.
Okay, so the first thing I wanna mention is, when the wrestlers went to Shoto, I had a phone call from Pastor Dale Jansen, who called and he he thanked our wrestlers for being so courteous and cleaning up after themselves. They did such a great job. They went and they found an extra vacuum and they left the place cleaner than when they got there. So, I let the coaches know and I let Russell know, because I thought that was pretty impressive that he took the time to call and to thank us for that. Friday is our prom. We've had quite a list of guests coming to our prom, so it will be a fun event for everybody. The theme is Gilded Rose, so I heard that it was a little hard to decorate for, but it sounds really nice. Today we had some Celtic performers come from the Paradise Center. They do outreach programs, so they came and performed for us, and we were fortunate to have the 6th graders join us for part of the assembly, so it was 7 through 12. And they did a pretty good job. It was very lively. Our math competition that the students went to in Missoula a couple weeks ago, they did very well. We had several students place in bronze and other levels of medals. And we started this emergency operation plan. Colleen McCarthy is sort of spearheading this emergency safety plan, and it ties directly into our behavior threat assessment team that we've developed over the years, the year and a half. So it's a good tie-in. It kind of takes our behavior threat assessment team, deals mostly with individuals, and the safety plan is a school-wide initiative to come up with safety plans for any kind of disaster or anything that we might need support with. So I'd like to thank Russell for always being so agreeable to all of my requests. Like today, I'm like, oh yeah, Russell, can you please set out the bleachers for me? And he's like, sure, no problem. Oh, and I also need some microphones. And he's like, okay, no problem. And so I just wanted to publicly thank Russell for being so helpful. March 9th?
Didn't you talk about screen? No screen day?
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention that. I'm sorry. I was talking to Ed earlier about it because Mr. Moretz wrote an article about our screen-free day. So our screen-free day was on last Monday, and it was a day where we left all Chromebooks at home, except for a few classes. They're college classes and MTDA classes. They were still allowed to use their Chromebooks, but all the other Chromebooks were no screen days. We had to remind a few students, and that was it. And the reviews were quite interesting. We had a couple kids complain about not having their Chromebooks, but there were many kids that thought it was okay. And so I think it was a well-received event, and it's something that I would like to continue on, at least once a month, maybe longer. But it was just a way to get those kids off of their screens and interact directly with the teachers and maybe do some more hands-on type of activities. And so I think it went well. We will see, if we try it again. But I think that kids are on their screens an awful lot. And so to have them actually have to interact face to face, I think is a valid form of communication. So, yes. Thanks for reminding me.
And anytime you do something the first time, that always needs to work out.
Hey, Mr. Guida.
Believe it or not, spring sports started today.
Oh dear lord.
Doesn't look like it at all out there. So, first practices today. I did want to recognize some athletes from our winter seasons that we finished up this last month and the end of February after the last meeting. So, both basketball teams did make it to divisionals and have a few hard-fought games. On the girls' team, we had 2 athletes selected all-conference. Hayden Rice was second team and Ava Lawyer was first team. And on the boys' side, we also had 2. We had Ben Aldridge, actually one of our Hot Springs kids, was second team, and then Cooper Meredith was first team. And then we also have 4 athletes that got invited to play at the Mission Valley All-Stars game tomorrow in Ronan. So that's voted on by coaches, and it's all of the schools on the Flathead Reservation, us, and Big Fork are included in that. So Ava Lawyer and Caitlin Subach will be on opposing teams on the girls' side, and Ben Aldridge and Cooper Meredith will be on opposing teams on the boys' side. And then our wrestlers also finished up their season last month at the state tournament. We had quite a few young wrestlers, so it was good to get them experience on the big stage there. And then we did have one all-state wrestler. Matthew Thurston took third at 126 pounds. He had a really impressive tournament. On the maintenance side, we got some parking lot repairs done when we had a nice little weather window a couple weeks ago. Working on getting some HVAC software updated. Tomorrow we're gonna have our boiler systems inspected, which we did have some heating hiccups today. After the power went out over the weekend, there's always some quirks to get figured out, but we do have heat again in 5-6, so we should be good tomorrow. And then last week I also met with the county coordinator from the Office of Emergency Management for the walkthrough, and he's also gonna help us with our new emergency operation plans, so. And that's all I've got.
Oh, there she is. She was hiding. How are you guys? Yeah, go right ahead.
Oh yeah, we turned it off. It was making funny noises.
I just put together this simple little packet, with a spreadsheet that I usually give you where my balance is, February.
Now that the mic's being used.
She's away from the mic as much as possible.
She's waving.
And as you can see, we're in the positive, you might think, wow, that's really good. It is, but, there's a lot of things contributed to that. So I would like to, visit with you guys, or invite you to ask questions, or email me with questions when you go through this material, going forward into next year with purpose of the classroom, and what the, it's a risk of them, something forward into next year, so that we're prepared, and get, let's start in next year too. The second page is just, the USDA foods that, the entitlement that we get, the amount that we got, and then the bonus was what I picked up, over and above our entitlement. So that was, just over $11,000. And we have probably half of that left, to go through here in the next, months, and then probably a couple months in the fall.
Is that part of the 14,000 in the
Uh,
green?
no, it's the, second page after the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
We got 18, so, be, in the black this year, rather than in the red. So if you have any questions on that going forward, please email me, because I want for you guys to get a feel of what the resource program, how it operates and where we're at, so we can work together with keeping it in the black as much as we can. The third sheet, this is a 3-year comparison, of our claims, which is our federal reimbursement claims. And then, so please email me or ask me any questions, once you've looked over this too. Of course, this front one is this current year, and this is, at CEP and breakfast in the classroom the whole year. We have 3 months left, and you can see that our number's pretty large there.
Oh, yeah, it's
Reimbursement
substantial, so
compared
that's
to,
great.
yeah, compared to, last year and the year, previous. Last year was our first partial year of breakfast in the classroom and full year of CEP. And then 23-24 was the last year we ran just free reduced and paid no CEP. So, you can see, there's a lot of moving parts to why we're at that lows and possibly personnel, but, that's not a huge amount of money. So, we're right on track to where we thought we would be this year, which is great. So please, any questions that you guys have for me, please do not hesitate to email me or call me, and ask me questions.
Yeah, I do. Why do you think that we're tailing off on the breakfast, in the mornings?
Pretty very bored with what we can offer.
Okay,
We've been trying to do parfaits, which take a little time, and the days that we serve parfaits, our numbers go back up to 240 a day, rather than around 200. Last Thursday, we made breakfast sandwiches for fifth through high school, and those were super happy with, but again, they're very time consuming as well, so, it's finding a balance of offering different new things that are gonna save them, get them to take breakfast, and then having the time to prep them.
gotcha, okay.
But this little thing down here that you're finding at the bottom, we haven't dropped 100 breakfast. Because if we ever decided to not go breakfast in the classroom CEP, that's just how much revenue 100 extra
Oh, okay,
breakfast. So if we went to serving breakfast in the cafeteria again and dropped by 100, it's about $4,100 in revenue a month that we would lose. So it's just breakfast in the classroom.
yeah, that's a lot.
It keep the numbers up in both lunch and breakfast, and then our program, has life insurance without breakfast in the classroom. We will, and then once, CEP, we have it for 2 more years. Next year we are following, and then we could have it for next year for 5th year, we can apply for that. If we don't qualify for CEP, we'll go back to, the free reduced and paid, then it'll be a complete overhaul of the food service program.
And for everybody that's in attendance, what does CEP actually stand for?
It is the, let me put you on the spot. Oh, I can't think of it right off the top of my head.
Where is it derived from? What is it?
It's free breakfast and lunch for every student.
Okay, and that funding comes from the state, from federal?
Federal, yeah.
Okay, very good.
And it's just a program that will qualify for free and reduced and
Okay, thank you.
We appreciate you keeping your thumb on the program. Having ownership of that has really dramatically changed that department.
I've enjoyed it very much too, so thank you.
Yeah,
Thanks,
very
Joe.
good.
We're proud of you. We'll open it up.
Community eligibility provision.
She just said it
Thank
too.
you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Scott.
And then Maren for her first financial report with us.
Okay.
Yay!
No pressure.
Okay, so last Thursday, the board had a fantastic budget workshop with Angie Consulting. It was very thorough, went through line item by line item, explained what every item is, what it's used for, how it's funded, where it's from. So, that makes my job easy today.
What you
because
cannot do with it.
I don't have a lot more to report beyond that. We already talked about the monthly budget report on Thursday, so we're at about 75% into the year and spent. So we went over all the different budgets and where they sit and what to be mindful of as we finish out the year. We're paying attention to the general budget to make sure it's not overspent. And it's looking pretty good. If we can finish without any unexpected expenditures, we should be looking pretty good for the general fund. I also provided the board with the resolution of intent to impose an adjustment in non-voted levies. So with their approval, that's going to be in the newspaper and on the school website. And it's just a projection. In August, we will have actual more accurate numbers that will reflect in that. But anyway, so yeah, that's all I have to report on that.
Anyone from the board have questions?
And Maren, isn't it true that we're making sort of a prediction, and we're not held to that?
Right.
We're required to make a prediction, but we don't have to use those numbers. We can use the numbers that we want to in August, correct?
Yeah, correct.
Well, the public has the right to know what that projection might be.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Right.
yeah, absolutely. Okay, any other questions for Maren about the monthly budget report? Okay. Well, let's move on to new business, which happens to be the consideration and possible action to approve the notice of the resolution of intent to impose an adjustment in non-voted levies, which we just sort of talked about. I would entertain a motion on that.
I make a motion to approve the notice of the resolution of the intent to oppose adjustments on non-voted ones.
Second.
Any comments or discussion on this particular item? This does include the public now, you guys get to talk if you want. Okay, people good? Well, Colleen and Robert sort of jumped all over each other.
We'll let Colleen.
Okay.
Okay, Steve,
Yes.
Colleen,
Yes.
Monica,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Lana.
Yes. Okay, so we have a consideration and possible action to lease the propane tanks from Energy Partners. I would entertain a motion for that.
I move that we lease the propane tanks from Energy Partners.
I'll second. I'll second.
I really want a second.
Yeah, we just can't get in there.
He's getting it.
Okay, now, Maren, would you just give a little snapshot onto why we have two propane tank lease kind of things on here, so the general public and the board is well aware of why we're doing this?
And Russell knows some too, but, we were leasing from 406 our propane, and then Energy Partners bought them out. So now Energy Partners is providing propane for us. Correct me if I'm wrong, Russell, okay? So they are able to lease a propane tank to us for $5 a year. But since it's a lease, it does need board approval, so we're asking the board if they'll approve $5 a year to lease propane at a really good rate. And then, I think that's the one so far.
That's the one so far.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions or discussion on the Energy Partners rental? No? Okay, alright, Colleen,
Yes.
Monica,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Lana.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, now we're going to go to the second one, consideration and possible action to renew the tank lease from Norco. I would entertain a motion.
I'll motion to renew the tank lease from Norco.
I second.
Okay. Yes, would you like to explain that one as well? Thank you, Maren.
So the Norco lease for the gases that are used in the shop program, nothing is changing. It's simply a 10-year lease, and so since it is such a substantial amount of time, it also needs board approval. So everything will stay the same for the shop program. They're using all the same gases. Everything is pretty much the same, right, Russell? Okay.
By gases, you mean like acetylene, nap gas, things like that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, and they're all listed on that.
Yes, second page has
So,
anyone have any questions or discussion on this particular agenda item? Okay. I have Robert and Colleen. No, you're good. I write them down too, so I keep my brain straight.
Okay, alright, Robert,
Yes.
Colleen,
Yes.
Monica,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Lana.
Yes. Okay, consideration and possible action to approve the 9 band instruments as surplus property. I would entertain a motion.
I move that we approve 9 band instruments as surplus property.
I second.
Okay, so I know, does anyone have any, comments or discussion on this particular agenda item?
I do. The Matt from Music Medics in Missoula came and did a complete inventory of all of our instruments and went through them all. And these were the ones that he deemed as being, they would cost more to fix than they're worth. So there's some pretty old instruments in there that are beyond repair, so that was the surplus.
So, question, being categorized as surplus property, that gives us the ability to do with them as we please?
Correct.
Yes, they could be sold at a surplus sale if the school wants to do one in the future, although I don't know if they really get much revenue. But you can donate them at this point, once they're determined surplus, you can throw them away, give them
Use
to
them in,
people.
use them in drop.
Maybe
Like
as a
props?
Props, I'm
Maybe.
just saying.
Yeah, no, that's a great idea.
Decide what you wanna do with them.
Maybe the art room, maybe they wanna do art with it, melt them down, recreate that, right? Be creative with what we have, right? But this means the band room won't have them for band use anymore.
Yes,
Okay.
they're not usable.
Okay. Any other discussion on this particular item before we vote? No, okay, we'll vote.
Okay, Colleen,
Yes.
Steve,
Yes.
Robert,
Yes.
Monica?
Yes.
Lana.
Yes. Okay. Consideration and possible action to approve Revere Transportation's electric buses to be used on the district's existing bus routes for the second semester. And I would entertain a motion on that.
I make a motion to approve Revere Transportation's electric buses to be used on the district's existing bus routes for the second semester.
I'll second.
Okay. Any, comments or discussion, on this particular agenda item?
Do you want me to explain?
Sure, yes, please.
Okay, so, most of you probably know that Revere Transportation now has a fleet of electric buses, which are great, the kids love them. In order, they need to be approved by the board, I had to register them with OPI, so there's a process to having the buses on the routes connected to the school. So anyway, I provided the paperwork that shows that they were registered appropriately on OPI and that they are gonna be used on specific routes for the rest of the semester. So,
Okay.
that's all that is.
So the only question I have, one of these says that Revere Transportation owns them, the other ones all say the district owns them, does that matter?
I am not sure about that, but I will look into that.
Can we own them?
You don't wanna own them. A responsibility would be too great.
Yeah.
But I will get that.
Okay. Okay. Any other comments or discussion items on this particular agenda item? Okay. Yep.
Okay, Steve,
Yes.
Monica?
Yes.
Robert?
Yes.
Colleen?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so public participation in non-agenda items, you'll have 3 minutes. I don't talk about anyone specifically, the board cannot talk back to you, but, you know, other people in attendance can, if we need to, or we can say we'll talk later. Does anyone have any, come on up, state your name?
I'm Lisa Brown, I work here. Last board meeting, it was stated, and I don't know where this falls in the board meeting, so I'm just gonna put it out there since I noticed, that, teachers get paid in August and we don't. We get 3 checks in June, and so that was a misstatement in the minutes, and it's not correct. And so if the annualization of payroll is based on us getting paid in August, then it's gonna be off by a month's paycheck for every single employee.
It's not.
Okay, so anyway, I just wanted to ask because I was concerned that, I mean, 1 month's
out for paychecks for everybody in the district is a lot of money, so just wanna make sure we're all on the same page there. Cause I know Hot Springs does, but we don't. And since I'm married to a former Hot Springs teacher, that kicked right away that, hey, wait a minute, that's not us. So, anyway, thank you.
Yes, no, thank you. Any other public comment on non-agenda items? Okay, guess we're done at 7:35. Thank you guys for all coming. We appreciate participation.